The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. Each week, we bring you the goings-on in the towns and villages that we cover. This week, we're going to start with Lee Hankins in Rush. Lee, what's going on in Rush?
Well, we're pretty busy. I'm ending my second month on the job, and I spent those 2 months learning the insides and outs of the town of Rush and how things are done. As of the first of next week, we're going to be working on flooding because that's a very big issue in the town of Rush. We're working on flood prevention and mitigation, responding to residents, neighborhoods, areas of flooding, such as the Hamlet, Fishel Road, and Middle Road. I spent time over the past few hours talking with Monroe County Highway Superintendent so that we can have the opportunity to take a look at one of the areas of town that had a really difficult time during the last flooding that we had a couple of weeks ago on Middle Road. That's a county road, so I've been looking to make sure that we have the opportunity to be able to work on that road to try and mitigate some of that flooding. Also, we're working on safety roads. We have quite a few issues on some highways and some roads in the town of Rush. On our private roads, we're looking to consider making all of our town roads no more than 35 miles per hour. I don't see any reason that it shouldn't be that way. We also have a serious issue with problems on West Henrietta Road, where it intersects with West Rush Road. That's been a problem for a long time. We have a lot of accidents there. A few times home has been ran into. I'd like to be able to get the county and the state to be able to give us some relief there so that we can make that area a lot safer. We are on our third stage of getting our acceptance for a grant to work on West Henrietta Road and 251 in the town of Rush. So the biggest issue that I'm working on at this point is safety on our roads. Also, we're going to be working on zoning, our zoning updates. The last town board waited for the new town board to finish up the zoning in the town. So we're looking to include a task force and start to reopen and complete our zoning and our public laws. We also are going to be starting to look at 2027 budget. There's a lot of work that we have to do on that. Healthcare, we're going to start to look at. We need to make some serious changes and improvements to town healthcare. Also continuing to reduce the cost of insurance in the town. We are going to start to look at recreation programs, events, and activities. Also cost benefits and the risk of running some of our programs. There's a lot of work ahead that we have, and it's going to take time, but we're looking at all of these issues. And we have a lot of quality people in Rush that are willing to help us and get on board so that we can start to accomplish some of those goals. So that's really where we are at this point. Safe roadways, pedestrian, uh, bicyclists, visitors, improve the Genesee Transportation Council study recommendations so that we can get the grants to do the work.
Okay. Thanks, Lee. It's over to Rick now. Rick, what's going on in Honeoye Falls?
Chris, as always, it's great to be here and appreciate the opportunity. Just a few short things to talk about this week, but as I always say, I think they're all important things, right? So, the village is beginning to look at and consider some America 250 celebrations. And certainly there will be plenty of celebrations around the greater Monroe, Ontario, and Livingston County areas. But one thought is to try to tie the Festival at the Falls celebration, which is normally in August, into this as well. So we have a lot more to look at, a lot more to discuss, but we're just want people to know we're thinking about some celebrations. If you have some ideas, don't hesitate to reach out to me at the village office at mayor@villageofhoneoyefalls.gov. More than happy to hear some of the suggestions that might come up, but we certainly want to honor our nation and honor the 250th birthday celebration, if you will. So keep that in mind. Reach out to me if you have some thoughts, and we'll certainly be talking to our fellow partners within, not just within the village, but within the town and our surrounding communities as well to see what everyone else wants to do. This is going to be another continuation or a repeat, if you will, but I have to say it each week right now because we want to make sure people are getting this message. The village is in budget mode, and we're going to be working diligently on that over the next couple months. We do conduct budget workshops, and they're open to the public to listen in. We're not holding these online. These are in-person workshops. The workshops are currently scheduled for the Saturdays in March, Saturday, March 7th, 14th, and 21st. They begin at 8 o'clock in the morning, and people can come in and listen into the meetings. We go through line by line. It's a little bit of a tedious process, as I said before, but it's very important. And then usually the last meeting, we certainly will take any criticisms, any questions, and we'll try to have that dialogue. But again, during this process, you are always welcome to attend. You're always welcome to write down questions and leave them with us, and we'll get back to you on it. But it's a very important process. But we keep repeating this because with the Sentinel and any of our digital formats, we want to make sure we get that information out to people and that they know that we've at least tried to get them the information. I also wanted to ask the question, do you know that the village of Honeoye Falls and the town of Mendon support a wonderful and active senior citizens group? I think most of you probably do, but we have people moving into the community quite regularly now. If you're a senior citizen and new to the area, or maybe you just weren't aware, please feel free to connect to the following to get information about the group or upcoming meeting schedules. We're proud to support this group here in the Honeoye Falls and town of Mendon area. Those connection contacts are Nancy Merritt, and her email is nancytime and the number 2 at AOL.com. That's NANCYTIME, the number 2 at AOL.com. And her number is 585-465-9490. It's a great group. It's an energetic group. It's an active group. And as we always like to say, and we do believe it, our seniors are one of our most valuable resources in regards to history and just everything they bring to the table. So let's support this group. And if you're interested in joining, please reach out to them. Chris, I appreciate the opportunity. It's always great to be here. We'll see you all next week.
Thanks, Rick. And now it's over to John Cates in the town of Lima. John, what's Lima looking like?
Thanks, Chris. Just follow up on the other meeting that I was at when I mentioned the charging stations at our library. They are up and running. I believe we have a level 1, 2 level 2s, and from what I've been told, the only level 3 charger in the area. So those are up and available for anyone to use. We got our next board meeting coming up Tuesday night at 6:30. I wish I could say we had a bunch of exciting stuff to talk about, but it's going to be just a kind of a hopefully business as usual type meeting. We continue to progress with the planning on Water District 5. We will be on Tuesday trying to schedule a public work session or a work session to go over kind of a curveball, I guess I could say, that got thrown our way with a transmission main change from the voted on plan. I think there are some benefits long term to the district. But we want to hear both sides because it obviously wasn't what the people voted on either. So a public work session, so that way with 3 new members of our town board, we all understand the changes, potential impacts, and that kind of thing, and we can make the best decisions going forward with that. Kind of an update. I know Mike had talked about it previously, and we had the grant out for the salt shed. Unfortunately, we were not successful with that again. But our public works department did a great job putting up a temporary structure before this winter, so they were protected, and I think that's gonna fill the gap nicely, until we can get this permanent structure figured out. Update on kind of a community event we have coming up on March 6th. We're going to have kind of a family community game night at the town hall. We realize it's been a long winter for a lot of folks, and there's not a lot of stuff to do, and people are getting stir crazy. So we're going to come out and bring some board games and play and try to do a nice event for kids or seniors and people of all ages. So that'll be from 6:30 to 8. The only thing I have as far as Livingston County update, the local law B of 2026 got a lot of media coverage here recently with not the sale of public property. The Board of Supervisors originally narrowly passed it 2 weeks ago, heard the residents, heard the community, and decided to repeal that local law this past Wednesday at the Board of Supervisors meeting. I'll close with just reminding our village residents that village elections are coming up on the 18th, and it's their time to go out and vote for who they want to have representing them in their village. And, they're pretty fortunate this year. We have 6 candidates for 3 spots. So you have choices, that's not always the case. So, pay close attention, go vote, have your say, and participate in your local elections and your local government.
All right. Thanks, John. Lee, anything more to add, or does your cat want to say anything?
Well, my cat loves me.
Yes, that's good. All right.
I'm pleased to announce that we've hired a part-time secretary. She has a strong background in business and public services and has agreed to work with me for 5 days a week. I'm also now looking for a part-time bookkeeper, financial assistant to work in our accountant department.
All right. Great.
Also, I'm looking for a dog warding to work with the town of Rush also.
All right. All right. Well, great. Thanks. Thank you for being here.
you.
John, thank you for being here. And thank you all for watching. Remember, this program airs every Sunday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Otherwise, well, what you need to do is you need to like the page and subscribe to the channel, and those platforms will notify you when the broadcast begins. Otherwise, you can read the transcript in next week's paper. That's all for now. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.